So, your mother is a narcissist. Welcome to the club, ladies. And I'm not saying welcome to the club like it's a good thing, but at least after you watch this, you'll know you're not alone in this. And I think it's very important. Any daughter of a mother right now that has gone through this, I think this video, please watch it to the end, will be a very relatable video to you, and I think quite important to you, and probably important to me as well, to be honest. So, yes, my mother is a narcissist, and I can tell you, firstly, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all you ladies out there, all you daughters of mothers that are narcissists, that you were never told that you were loved. I'm sorry that your feelings have constantly been invalidated. I'm sorry that you've never found true peace when you're around your mother. I'm sorry that your mother never sympathized with you. I'm sorry that her needs always came before yours. I'm sorry that you've had to go through so many phases of life where you've doubted yourself and thought, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Actually, maybe this is normal. I'm sorry that no one looked at your achievements. I'm not your mother, but I'm proud of you for clicking this video, and I'm proud of you for being here. I don't know whether you're still living with your mother right now, or whether you've left that environment. But let me tell you, daughters of narcissistic mothers, based on my experience, is one of the most, I believe, one of the most traumatic experiences that you could actually have as a human being. And I'm going that far. I have been through this my whole life. And I've never quite found peace ever in my life. And I also wonder why. Why me? I mean, I have siblings. Why me? Why was I was the weak link, I was the youngest, the last one to leave, I guess. But also, I was also quite, as I say, I'm introverted now. I've always been quite a little to myself in my own world. Like I said before in one of my other videos, it's really hard for me to make friends, and that's always been like a thing for me. I've always not been able to be the one maybe to speak up as much. I remember when I was younger, always I'd go to the news agents or the shop in the UK. I have news agencies like Sweet Shop, right? I could never speak to anyone. I couldn't even put the sweets on the counter and be like, hi. I'd whisper to my sister, can you speak for me? So I think there has been maybe something in me that I was the one to kind of leech onto. And in that way, and you also, I don't know if you've got siblings, I don't know if you're just an only child, but for some reason it's usually, maybe it's your siblings as well, but you're here, so you have been targeted in a way, and it's not our fault, it's not your fault, okay, that you're in this position. But let me tell you, I just really, I was called to say that. I wasn't even going to record today, but I was called, something came over me, and I was like, I have to get this message out, because I promised, you know what I promised myself, ladies? I promised myself that once I'm in my own place and I have peace, because I've always wanted to do this, I've always wanted to create videos, that one of the videos that I would do will make sure that I'm speaking to women, daughters that come from narcissistic parents. And this one is about a narcissistic mother, because I've experienced that. And I just remember, I know I'm going from here to there, but I just remember it was COVID. I was 32. I broke up with an ex. I then had to go back into living with my mother because I had no financial means to just live somewhere by myself. And I was really concerned. I didn't realize the actual mental trauma it was going to cause me. So my whole life has been me trying to find ways to escape from my mother. You know, it started off even when I was young, like always hear slamming of doors between, you know, always hearing shouting, screaming. And I just thought that was a very normal situation. You know, when you're young, you just think, oh, okay, it's your parents. But as I got older and matured and I understood, actually, I saw other people's families. I said, something's not right with my mother. Like, something's not right with her. I remember her never wanting to acknowledge any of my achievements. I was a very good, I would say, as athletics, like sports star at my school, whatever. And I was very good. And so I remember no one ever showing up for me, like hardly. And I understood she was a single mother, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But it's just the acknowledgement of an achievement. And if you've got a narcissistic mother, they seem to not be able to have the ability to even acknowledge your achievements. And I think it's really important when you're going through adolescence and growing up that you have that. You get that sense of achievement and validation, especially from a mother figure if you're a daughter growing up in this world. Never really remember it to an extent where it came from an actual genuine place. It's like you have to remind them, and then it's like, oh yeah, oh well done. It's like, but isn't that an instinctual thing that you should have as a maternal mother? Is that not a thing that you have? So then it's, you know, it's these things, if these kind of relate to you. And then it was just it's the constant up and down. It was the waking up, realizing this is not normal. Like, you're waking up and not knowing what the hell is going on. Like, you realize actually this is becoming like a very like, this home of safety is not feeling safe anymore. This place is feeling like I'm on eggshells. Like, I'm waking up not knowing what day, what mood she's going to be in. Like, I'm waking up like she's determining my mood. Like, what day are we going to have? What mood are we going to go today? You know, and especially as you're growing up, it was like, I remember her talking to me about things about, you know, oh, she's dating this guy, you know, and it's like, she should be asking me like, oh, have you been on any dates? Or, and I don't know, like, isn't it meant to be the other way around? Like, as you're getting to like 17, 18, you know, and then I realized now she's starting to comment on the way I look. And, you know, when I was in like my teenage years and, you know, younger, I would say I was, you know, a fairly pretty girl and very slim, always very slim. And so, you know, when you hear comments like, oh yeah, I used to have a body like you, and and just little comments like this, but I could feel it. It didn't come in a way of like, you know, you don't want to think the worst, but I'm telling you, it came across a little envious. It started to come across a little weird. Like, this is not what my mother should be trying to tell me these things. Like, you should be giving me confidence. You should be giving me appreciation. You should be telling me that, you know, at least I am pretty or something. I don't know. Like, you want to hear these things sometimes from your mother, you know. And it's just like, if you go shopping with her, like clothes shopping, it's a sense of like, well, I want to buy that, and it turns into her shopping trip. It's not your shopping trip anymore. It's, what can you do for her? How can you appease her? It's not my shopping trip anymore, you know? It's not about anything about me anymore. It's never about me, and it's never about you. For some reason, it always gets turned onto them. And then I don't know, at one point, something turned, and I started becoming this punching bag in a way. And let me just say, not physical. And when I say punching bag, I mean this mental, like, arithmetics going on. Mental gymnastics is what is going on. It's like, what is going on here? You know, what is happening? And you slowly become, you slowly get used to this behavior. Like, this is normal. It's just normal, you know, her waking up, being crazy, slamming doors, shouting, you know, her shouting at me, shouting at the neighbors, shouting at anyone, you know, and then just being, if she doesn't get what she wants or something's not going her way, and then it's my job to drop everything that I'm doing to make sure she's happy. And when I say that she wasn't in she's never been in a financially good position. She hasn't, you know, worked for a long time. And I think it's due to her, I don't know what particular diagnosis it would be for her, but I don't think it's this narcissistic personality disorder. I think it mixed in with some other things. I'm not a doctor. You know, you'd need to go and get someone to check that out. But on the basis of narcissism, highly up there. Highly up there. You know, some days I'd wake up and there'd be sketches of a mall that of just like designs of the world and of creations that she will run one day, and she will be this big, and that's what it is. Narcissistic people, they have this grand alter ego about themselves. And so when you walk down the stairs on a nice Sunday morning, and you walk down to open the living room, and there is your mother with pages of sketches and telling all your ideas, all her ideas about how this is going to all plan out and stuff, when clearly you're not even in a financial position, you're relying on me. So how is that working? And you can't even fathom it. Like, it becomes so normal. It's just like, oh, it's another Sunday, you know, yay. How am I going to manage today? It's not even like, how am I going to enjoy myself? It's, how am I going to manage this? And how am I going to, what is going to be the chaos today? Basically, how can I minimize this chaos today? That's what it is. It's managing the chaos. I've become a manager of her chaos emotions, her alter ego, her guilt tripping, her gaslighting. That's what I've become. And whilst at the same time, I'm trying to be a normal human being, trying to get on with my life. Like, I have a life. I have a life as well. But no, why would they care about your life? You know, they don't. And that's the sad truth. Unfortunately, even if she is your mother, and this is why it really sometimes annoys me when people that do not come from narcissistic parents, especially a mother and a daughter relationship, and they don't understand why you maybe behave the way that you do, why maybe you don't speak to your mother. I'll come to that later, and I'll do a whole separate video on that. Maybe why you like this. Like, no one will ever understand unless they've lived in that situation every single day, waking up not knowing what the hell is going to happen that day, and how you're going to have to regulate someone else's emotions over yours. And that person that's actually meant to regulate your emotions, the person that's meant to take care of you, that's never been there in your life, never been there for you, you've then got to somehow find some coping mechanisms, some survival skills. You then are on a subconscious fight or flight all the time without maybe even realizing. Your nervous system's all out of whack, because this is not normal. This is not a normal biological, maternal, instinctual behavior from a mother. This is not normal behavior. So all these responses that are happening is survival that you're doing. So whether this is growing up as a childhood, into adolescence, into adulthood, your whole life could maybe have been a survival. That was my story. And I didn't even realize how much I was in survival until just a couple of years ago, since living by myself. And I didn't realize how my whole life I've been trying to survive, escape. And unfortunately, I've gone in a loop. It puts you in a vicious cycle as well, because once you are, your mother is your mother, and we're not financially stable to a certain point, right? But it's really difficult to get financially stable when you're with and connected to a narcissistic parent that guilt trips you into making them rely on you. So you are now their safety net. And if you leave, what's going to happen to them? And we are programmed, as we should be, to want to care for our parents and want to do best for them. But then it comes to a point, ladies, that you have to understand this. And look, this has taken me a long time to get to this point and experience this for over 20 years of my life, okay? That you have to put yourself first. And I wish someone told me this when I was 16, 15, and someone told me, like, this person, you have to recognize the signs, okay? You have to do some research into narcissistic behavior, read about it, see if your mother's got these signs. And you've got to understand that if you don't, or if you can't, get away, you need to understand how to try and remove yourself as much as you possibly can away from this person. Go for walks, try and distance yourself, put headphones on. These are the tactics I did all the time, especially during COVID when I was on lockdown. Oh my God, I would get to that. But you need to try and minimize the amount of time that you're around this person, because they will completely suck the life out of you. They do not want you to be great. They do not want you to be, they don't want to tell you you're pretty, you're intelligent, you're smart, you're capable of doing these things. They don't want to tell you that because it was something that they were unable to achieve because they feared it. Maybe they fear success. Maybe they have a lot of regrets in their life and they don't want to see you shine. As much as that sounds horrible, I'm so sorry to say it like this. And some of you might be like, but she's my mother. And you may still have that thing inside you. It's just like, but she's my mother. Let me tell you, they don't want you to shine. Narcissistic mothers, they don't. I'm not talking about normal mothers. I'm talking narcissistic mothers. They do not, deep down really, don't want you to shine. Because once you shine, you're dimming their light. You're dimming what they could have been. You're dimming their ego. You can never outshine them. They're the best. They're still the best. They've still got the ideas. They still can do it. It's guilt. It's fear. It's regret. It's, trauma that they haven't dealt with. There's a lot of things going on. Envy with this person, and I'm disassociating it to a mother because it is a person, and a mother is very different to what a narcissistic person mother is. And they don't want you to shine. They really don't. And once they hear that you're doing good, once you start sharing good news, trust me, they're not happy about it. I genuinely don't think they're happy about it. They're like, why? Why is something going good? I'm trying to disrupt their life as much as I possibly can. I've not acknowledged any achievements of them. They're in the wrong. I'm right. How is this person still going with this environment? How? And you've got to understand that sometimes you cannot share your good news with everyone, even your own mother. And I'm sorry that may sound completely, utterly crazy to say, but the worst thing you can do is share good news with a narcissistic mother, because they will find a way to make you doubt it. I remember, I'll give you an example. I remember I was meant to go on a trip, on holiday, girls' holiday, you know, when you're like in your 20s, right? Girls' holiday. And I was invited to go away with some friends, and it was quite far away. It was a very nice holiday in Barbados, and I had never ever been to such a beautiful place. Like, I've grown up in a single parent household. Like, we'd never go on holidays. I think this was like one of the first holidays, and it was just like, wow, this is like where, you know, paradise is. Like, I can't miss this opportunity. And you know, and I was like, I can't miss this opportunity. And once my mother found out, I really could see, this was my early 20s, and I was living with her, because, you know, I could see the jealousy. It was like, oh, you know, it wasn't oh my God, I'm so excited. It wasn't genuine. And that made me so sad, you know, it made me a little bit sad. Like, why can't you even be happy about this? And, you know, and my friends invited me, like everything was going to be like pretty much like the accommodation, everything was like kind of sorted, because it was going with my friend's parents, right? And I was just like, why? What's the point of just killing someone else's mood? Because she's never done it. She wanted to go. Why wasn't she invited? That's what she's thinking. She's not thinking, oh, my daughter's gonna be able to go on a paradise island. She's never been like this far away before in her life. She's never really been on holiday properly. Like, this is gonna be an amazing experience. I'm gonna do everything to try and make this the best experience for her. No. It's an immediate, well, oh great, I'm stuck here. Great, stuck here while you're gonna have a good time. That's it. No happiness for the preparation of it. The whole preparation leading up was very stressful. It's very, very stressful. And then the day you go, oh, bye, hope you have a good time. You know, because what can you do at that point? It's that you're already there. So what I'm saying is that sometimes your good news will cause you chaos. So, ladies, even if you're in your early 20s, even if you're in your adolescence, even if you're in your 30s, I don't know, your 40s, I don't know, this might be relatable to you, that you had some good news, you shared it one time and you regretted it straight away. And I just want to say to the younger girls, and the younger women, that if you are watching this, just be very careful the good news that you're sharing with your narcissistic mother, because they might find a way to ruin any opportunity that you may potentially have. And I can give you another example. COVID happened, right? Broke up with an ex, not nice. Well, had to go back in. And let me just tell you, I'm sorry I'm going back and forth. I hope you're keeping along, because I'm trying to piece all the pieces together, but it's, you know, I'm 35. This has been going on my whole life. So, but what I want to say is there's always been a cycle, okay? So the cycle's been, I'm from a single parent household. I've not grown up financially in a very good position, right? So I knew straight away, right? I got a job when I was like 18, whatever, bought my car, which was, thank heavens I had that, because I could escape sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is that I lived with my mother majority of the time. Went away to uni for a few years, right? Then had to come back to the chaos. Then I went back to the chaos, started the screaming, the shouting, and I looked drained every time. Always, I'm just trying to find an escape route. So I remember I'd go and live with some of my ex-boyfriends, their parents. They knew something wasn't right. They met her. They knew something wasn't right. And she would try and sabotage those relationships as well. So I realized I can't introduce her to no one, not even friends, anyone, because people can sense it as well. Like I just thought people couldn't sense it, but I realized because when you're around this person for so long, you just get so used to this behavior. Like, I don't know, your level of resilience and your level of like, you almost become like a carer, like half like therapist. I don't know what it is you become, but you become so like accustomed to this really abnormal behavior, which is also not good for you, but you normalize it to a level where actually it's not normal. And then you don't even realize it's not normal because you just go on your daily thing, just like you're just trying to survive every day. Like, especially if you're living with someone narcissistic, which I did for like majority of my life, apart from the 2 years I've lived alone. And then, but then people come around and they can notice it straight away. Like, honestly, like I feel like people can sense it, like sense something. They don't need a long time. Like, people can sense something's not quite right. And I've noticed that pattern as well. But I'm like, oh, like I became to think this is normal. Ladies, if you're with me still, I'm sharing these stories because I want to know if they're relatable to you. If they are relatable to you, please comment your story as well, because I need this. As much as I hope you need this from me, I need this from you, ladies, because I need to know that some other people have gone through this. Because for a majority of my life, I felt very, very alone. And just like my life just on hold, pretty much, in a prison, in some narcissistic prison, and where I can't get out of. And it's hard to escape this prison, especially when they're a family member that, have a lot of control. And that's the thing as well. It's like when you live with a narcissistic parent, they have so much control of you from such a young age. And then they have financial control at the beginning, and then they'll use that against you. Like probably you heard like, oh, okay, well then just pack your bags and leave. The amount of times I've heard that, pack your bags and leave, if it's something that you've criticized them on. They can't stand criticism. It's like the worst for them. They cannot stand it. They can't stand it. They start losing their ish, and they'll start saying, oh, get out of my, they'll start shouting, they'll throw everything at you. And when I'm saying throw everything, I'm talking in a mental way. And so it's not even worth it. And, so what I'm saying is that tends to be a cycle that happens. And the pattern is, for me, it's been not financially able to live by myself. Just go and get a job, live, and you're like, oh, just live here. You can help me with the rent and pay the rent. And it's like, well, it makes sense because I can't afford to go somewhere else, or then I'm going to have to pay you rent, and then I'm stuck here. But then I feel like I'm helping you at the same time. So, you get guilt tripped into that. Anyway, so your whole life you spend going to work, and you come back, and then you're living in this environment, and then you're having to go to work after last night, maybe not sleeping till 2:00 a.m. because they're having a meltdown, and you have to wake up at 8:00 in the morning and go to work like everything's normal, and there's many, many women that are doing this, especially if you're living with them, and it's very, very draining. And it's draining to show everyone that you're normal, everything's fine. You're lying, but you can't. There's no one that would ever understand this. No one to the capacity that you're trying to explain, like some of the things that happen in your house, like when you go home, just some of the dramatics, some of the things that are going on. Like you wouldn't even be able to fathom some of the things that are happening. And they wouldn't even understand it. And so if you relate, please just let me know in the comments below. But yeah, it's just a cycle of like going to work, coming back, and then and you get stuck. Like financially you get stuck, because it's like you can never be financially free, really truly free, I don't think, unless your mental is free and peace. Like, I wanted to do this. So do you know, I wanted to do this YouTube so much. Like in COVID, when I was in lockdown with her, I wanted to do this. She would come in and purposely ruin my videos. Like she knew I'd want to do this. Like, she would come in and just purposely just start just being, walking past, or just doing very subtle things, but completely like just would, or start banging something in the other room, like being really loud, just to throw me off, because she knows that this could be a success for me, or this could be something that I'm really passionate about, or this is my hobby. And she doesn't want me to have joy. They don't want you to have joy. They don't want you to shine in any light. They don't want you to have a voice. They don't want you to have these things. They don't, because they're not capable of doing it. So what I'm trying to say is that in order for you to be financially free, which is very important, because once you're financially not tied to them, you can leave them. And that is very key. And it's taken me, I'm almost embarrassed to say that it's taken me, so basically I lived there since, my whole life, and then went away and I did teach abroad. So I taught abroad for 3 years, came back. It was the worst experience for me. Then went to go and live with someone, an ex, then broke up, had to go back, live again, had to, even before that, uni, had to go back, live again. And it's just always been like, I've had to go back and back, because I'm financially never been able to afford to live by myself. And it's very hard to, especially if you're growing up from a single parent household where you've not really had a start in terms of your economic help. You are on a back starter, so it's just always been really, really difficult to escape it. So COVID happened. It was the worst experience of my life. Being on lockdown with this woman nearly ruined me. I'm not even joking. I thought, I realized like how resilient I am and how strong I am, and you need to understand how strong you are as well, and how resilient you are as a person. Like, again, I keep repeating this because people will never understand how much strength you need to get through this. Like, just when you thought you couldn't take anymore, you've managed, and you're still here. If you're watching this video, you're still here, okay? And I'm so proud of you. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm so proud that I've been able to be here to say this to you guys and you women. And I want you to see this as an example that you can get peace. I've been through it, and you can get peace. And if you're a woman from a single parent household, or, and just know that you can do that. So I was in COVID. I had some job interviews, that got purposely ruined by this person, okay? Because they can feel and they can sense when you are actually becoming independent of them. They can feel it, and they will try and pretend like, they'll try and influence you, persuade you, like, that's great, and then you can stay here and it's gonna be lovely. Like, if they feel that they're losing control, they'll switch on the the charm. They'll switch on like, I'm going to be the perfect person and everything is going to be great. And I can do this for you. I can cook for you. I can do this. I can do everything for you. And you'll just have all the time in the world just to focus on what you want to do, and you'll achieve your goals. They don't mean it. All they're thinking about is themselves. They're thinking, she cannot leave me. She will not leave me. You're mine. Your property. You're mine. You're my energy. You're not leaving me. And I'll do everything I can to make sure that you stay. And it sounds so, even when I'm saying it right now, it's giving me like shivers down my body. Because that's what they're thinking. And you have to understand this. You need to know that when you have mental peace, a plan, you can escape. I escaped narcissistic prison. I escaped, and it is an escape. It's no joke. This is no joke. It's an escape. It's absolutely an escape. I thought, honestly, when I was locked down in COVID, I thought, no, I can't do this. I have no ability to do my dreams, my passion. I'm spending all my savings on you. But you know what? I was so smart. I was so smart with what I did during COVID. I didn't tell her everything. And do you know what I did? Do you know how I escaped? Right. Well, I'm going to leave that for another video, because let's just comment on what we have so far, because there's many parts to this. And I want to give some more. The next part, I want to give you some advice on really how to escape if you're living with someone that's got like a narcissistic mother, and you are living with someone that has you are living with a narcissistic parent, and every day is the worst for you, and you don't know how to get out of it, and you're stuck. That was me. I would sit there thinking, how am I going to get out of this? Please, I'll be crying on my knees, praying to something. I don't know. I was praying to God. I was praying to the universe. I was praying, please, just, you know what I said? I said, please just let me out of this situation. And I promise you, I'll make the videos. I promise you that I will share my voice. I promise you that I will share my story once I get into a better position. And I have my own place to be able to share my thoughts, to share this. Like, I have to help other women. I have to help these like younger women, like not delay their life. My life's been so delayed by this, and it's like I can't blame everything, but trust me, my life has been so delayed. I've foregone so many things to care for someone else that does not care about you, doesn't care about me, doesn't care that I've lost a lot of years of my life because I'm so focused on you. I'm 35. I'm single. I don't have kids. I've just 2 years ago been able to live in my own place. This is a super delay in life, you know? And yeah, I can take accountability that sometimes it is, but it does play a big part in a delay in your life. And I don't want you to keep delaying your life any longer. And I want to help you. And I want you to know you're not alone in this. And if you are living with a narcissistic parent, please, I really want to make a video that's really going to help you guys, okay? So I want to take some time to really make sure that I'm telling you exactly how I escaped that environment. And I want to give you some tips on how to do it. And some of them are a little sneaky, but you have to start being sneaky to protect yourself. And once you're out of it, then the path you take is yours, really. Ladies, I don't know, I just had something come over me. It was just like, you need to just talk. So I just picked up the mic and I just started talking. Nothing's pre-scripted. I just talk about my experiences. I hope that some of you ladies can relate to some of the things I'm talking about. And also, this is not to throw anyone under the bus as well. It's just, it is what it is. It is the reality of what it is. And unfortunately, it is what it is. But just know, this is a place, lady, a community, a place for us women to never feel alone. Whether that's one of my videos that I'm talking about. In my other video, I'm talking about 35, no kids, single, alone. If you're 35 as well, or in your 30s and you don't have kids and you're single, go and check that video. I've got that there. If it's I'm 35 and got no friends, go and check that video as well. Like, I'm just being honest where I am and what things are happening. And I think a lot of the topics can be quite, embarrassing maybe, or vulnerable for some people to talk about, but I'm quite at peace, and it's really nice to have no chaos in life. And so please, I encourage you to go and watch all the other videos, because I really think like some snippets, or you'll get some really good things in there that are relatable, hopefully, and just some advice of things I've just learned along the way. And yeah, so ladies, we are a family, we are a community here, the Nana community, And please, 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 please comment below, because when you comment below, you're sharing your journey, but you're not just sharing it with me, you're sharing it with other women. Could be younger girls out there that see your comment, they're in a situation, you've experienced it, or maybe you're going through something right now, and we can give each other advice, tips. You know, we're much better together, women, and especially women that have been through this experience. Sometimes it's hard to voice this to other people. They don't necessarily fully understand what we've been through. And so having a place where we have other women that totally get it is just amazing. And this is really what I want, is to talk about different topics, talk about being 35 and alone, talk about being 35, having no kids and being single. I want to talk about these things, talk about having a narcissistic mother. I want to talk about these things, and I want them for us to be an open place for everyone. So ladies, please hit the subscribe button. The reason why I'm saying hit the subscribe button, because my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm going to party when I get there, because it's like a super achievement for me. I'm just like, woohoo. I'd be like, oh, I got 1,000 subscribers. It's like, it was just like a dream that I've had for so long, since I was like early 20s, to always want to make videos. And now I'm finally in a place where I can make videos, and it feels so good. And so yeah, please hit the subscribe button. We're a community, we're a family, we're a group of women here that support each other. We're positive, we're peace, we're on that journey. And 2024 is for us, ladies. So hit the subscribe, comment below, and please go and watch the other videos and let me know. Thank you. It's a Nana Journey.